In today's fast-paced world, staying focused seems like an impossible task. Every day, we are bombarded with endless distractions, notifications from social media, emails, meetings, and a constant stream of information. The struggle to concentrate has become a universal challenge, making it harder than ever to focus on personal growth or work toward meaningful goals. We find ourselves pulled in multiple directions, overwhelmed by noise, and often exhausted by the effort of trying to keep up. In this article, we will explore 6 Buddhist principles that can guide us on the path to self-mastery. These principles, the potter's wheel of karma, the bridge of right intention, the forge of self-mastery, the archer's discipline, the riverbank of equanimity, and the phoenix of right view, offer timeless lessons for cultivating focus, discipline, and emotional balance. These principles not only help us regain control over our attention, but also empower us to shape our reality with intention. So let's begin by exploring the first principle, the potter's wheel of karma, and how our actions shape our reality. The potter's wheel of karma, shaping your life through actions. Karma, a foundational principle in Buddhism, is often misunderstood in the modern world. It is not a mystical force or divine punishment, but rather a principle of cause and effect rooted in intentional action. Every thought, word, and deed sends ripples through our lives, shaping our reality. In essence, our actions are like the potter's wheel, constantly molding the clay of our existence. What we create with our hands, through our intentions, decisions, and behaviors, shapes the person we become and the world around us. In the chaos of modern life, where distractions are constant and demands on our time seem never-ending, it's easy to forget how powerful our own choices are. We often look outside ourselves for answers, blaming external factors like fate, circumstances, or the actions of others for our struggles. Yet, Buddhism teaches that we have far more control over our lives than we realize. Our present reality is a direct result of our past actions, and by changing how we act and think, we can reshape our future. This realization is empowering. We are not passive recipients of the world's chaos. We are active participants in creating the world we experience. Take, for example, the common complaint of feeling stuck in a dead-end job or relationship. Many people spend years blaming their circumstances, thinking that change is out of their control. However, this perspective only limits growth. By accepting responsibility for where we are, we reclaim the power to make different choices and change our path. In doing so, we stop being victims of circumstance and become active creators of our destiny. As we continue to explore the Buddhist principles for self-mastery, we will now delve into the next lesson, the bridge of right intention. This principle teaches how clear, actionable goals can help guide us through the distractions of modern life and lead us toward a more fulfilling, focused existence. The bridge of right intention, building a clear path to your goals. Right intention is one of the key aspects of the Buddhist path to self-mastery and discipline. In Buddhism, right intention is not just about setting vague goals or dreaming of a better life. Instead, it focuses on cultivating a mind that is intentional and purpose-driven, ensuring that our goals align with our deepest values and aspirations. This principle emphasizes that in order to move forward in life, we must have clear, focused intentions and not simply wish for things to improve. Buddhism teaches that setting clear, actionable intentions is essential for overcoming distractions and building a focused, purposeful life. The Buddha's teachings urge us to think beyond vague wishes and instead frame our goals as I am statements. These I am statements ground us in the present and direct our energy toward purposeful action. For example, instead of simply stating, I want to be successful, a more focused intention would be, I am a person who works diligently and consistently toward my goals. This statement not only defines the action, but also aligns it with the value of consistency and diligence. Writing down specific I am Statements related to areas such as career, relationships, or personal growth can provide a roadmap for our actions. These statements help to crystallize our intentions and make them more tangible. When we say, "I am a person who nourishes my body with healthy food," or "I am a focused individual who dedicates time to personal growth," we align our actions with these intentions. This simple practice can help us channel our energy into intentional, productive work, making it easier to stay on track and avoid distractions. In the next principle, we will explore how the power of self-mastery builds upon right intention. By strengthening our mental discipline, we can enhance our ability to remain focused and steadfast on the path of our desires. The 4 to self-mastery: strengthening your mind through discipline. Mental discipline is a cornerstone of Buddhist practice, and it plays a critical role in mastering our thoughts and actions. In Buddhism, discipline is not merely about restriction, it's about cultivating control over the mind, aligning it with one's values, and using it to shape a life of purpose. The mind, like a piece of raw metal, requires refinement. Just as a blacksmith must work tirelessly to shape iron, we too must apply discipline to refine our mental processes, gradually eliminating distractions and cultivating focus. The metaphor of a blacksmith forging metal is particularly powerful in understanding how discipline strengthens the mind. Just as metal is heated, hammered, and shaped, our minds undergo a similar process through daily practices. The heat comes from our commitment to mental growth, the hammering represents the repetitive effort needed to maintain focus, and the final shape emerges as a disciplined mind. This process is neither quick nor easy, but it is transformative. Every effort we make to control our thoughts, align them with our true intentions, and redirect our focus is like the blacksmith's strike shaping the metal. Buddhism teaches that all actions, whether mental or physical, have consequences. By cultivating discipline, we learn to create the mental conditions necessary for growth. Just as a well-forged blade is strong and sharp, a disciplined mind is resilient, clear, and powerful. The key to mastery lies in our ability to train the mind to remain focused, to resist the urge to be distracted, and to stay committed to our higher goals. As we continue on this journey, we will explore how discipline ties into the next principle, the archer's discipline. By learning how to channel our focused energy in a purposeful direction, we can sharpen our intentions and aim our actions with precision. This transition is crucial for further developing the strength of the mind and pursuing true self-mastery. The archer's discipline, hitting your target with precision. In Buddhism, discipline is not simply about control, but about the power to direct our energy and actions with purpose. It's about cultivating a focused mind that operates with intention, rather than being constantly distracted by external stimuli. This is where the concept of right intention becomes vital. It encourages us to develop small, intentional habits that, when practiced consistently, shape our character in life. Much like an archer who carefully aims at a target, we must direct our energy and actions towards specific goals with clarity and purpose. Small, consistent actions are the foundation of building mental discipline. When we set clear, actionable goals, we are not overwhelmed by the multitude of tasks that demand our attention. Instead, we begin to take small steps each day that bring us closer to our desired outcomes. For example, if your goal is to improve your health, rather than saying, "I want to get healthier," a more intentional statement would be, "I am committed to exercising for 30 minutes every day." This clear and specific commitment helps the mind focus on the task at hand and establishes a habit that strengthens over time. This principle teaches us that by aligning our intentions with our actions, we can move past distractions and live a more purposeful life. The key is to remain focused, to cultivate habits that support our goals, and to recognize that discipline, like any skill, takes time and effort to develop. Through these intentional efforts, we don't just achieve our goals, we transform into the person, we need to be to achieve them. As we explore the next principle, we will see how the riverbank of equanimity helps us maintain balance as we navigate the challenges that inevitably arise on our path to self-mastery. The riverbank of equanimity, mastering emotional balance and chaos. In Buddhism, equanimity is the state of mental calmness, balance, and composure, even in the face of life's challenges. This principle teaches us to accept both joy and sorrow with an open heart and a steady mind. Equanimity is not about suppressing emotions, but about allowing them to flow through us without letting them take control of our actions or thoughts. In the chaotic world we live in, where distractions constantly vie for our attention, learning how to maintain emotional balance becomes essential for personal growth and self-mastery. The ability to manage our emotions is a key aspect of developing equanimity. It's not about ignoring or suppressing feelings, but rather recognizing them and choosing how to respond. For instance, if you feel frustration building up during a stressful situation, you can pause, take a deep breath, and acknowledge the emotion without letting it control your behavior. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can choose to respond with patience and understanding, thus maintaining your inner peace. One way to strengthen equanimity is through daily mindfulness practices. Meditation, for example, helps us become aware of our thoughts and emotions, allowing us to observe them without judgment. By practicing mindfulness, we develop the ability to detach from our emotional reactions and see them as passing events, rather than truths that define us. This practice not only enhances our emotional resilience, but also improves our focus, enabling us to approach life's challenges with a calm and clear mind. Buddhism also teaches that equanimity is rooted in wisdom. The more we understand the impermanence of life and the transient nature of our emotions, the better we can manage them. Knowing that all experiences, whether pleasant or unpleasant, are temporary helps us avoid becoming overly attached to them. This wisdom allows us to navigate both success and failure with grace, understanding that both are part of the ebb and flow of life. The phoenix of right view, transforming suffering into wisdom. Buddhism emphasizes that suffering is not to be feared but embraced as a path to wisdom. Through the practice of mindfulness and meditation, we begin to observe our suffering without judgment, understanding it as a natural response to life's ever-changing circumstances. When we stop resisting our pain, it loses its power to control us. Instead of allowing ourselves to be swept away by negative emotions or the desire to escape discomfort, we can learn to approach these experiences with curiosity and equanimity. This is where the right view becomes truly transformative. It allows us to reframe our suffering as a teacher rather than an enemy. For instance, consider a situation where you are faced with a failure or setback. Most people would naturally feel discouraged or defeated, viewing the situation as proof of their inadequacy. However, through the lens of right view, failure becomes a tool for growth. Instead of seeing it as an end, we recognize that failure is an essential part of the learning process. It teaches us what doesn't work and encourages us to adjust our approach. By shifting our perspective, we can see each challenge as an opportunity to refine our abilities and strengthen our resilience. Another example is in relationships. When conflicts arise, the right view allows us to recognize the impermanence of the situation. Instead of holding on to resentment or frustration, we understand that emotions are transient and can be transformed. This understanding leads to greater patience and compassion, not only towards others, but also towards ourselves. As we move forward in our exploration of Buddhist principles, we will see how the other principles complement and enhance the practice of right view. Together, they form a powerful path towards self-mastery and inner peace, enabling us to navigate the complexities of modern life with wisdom and grace.